And Epps, let's go! Hey! Oh, okay. Hey guys, how are you feeling? So, when I was 21, I'd been talking to Fred Armisen on MySpace for a whole year. And I knew it was him because he gave me his phone number, and I prank called him at a house party that my best friend was, she was the host, and we both talked to him, and it was definitely his voice. And he invited both of us to New York City. I was living in Ohio at the time. And he's like, yeah, you girls, you ladies should come out and see me perform live on Saturday Night Live. And he did not offer to pay for our hotel or for our plane tickets. But I was an independent woman who had a job. Woo, okay. So I had this other friend, she was a flight attendant. She got a $60 round trip tickets. Because she's like, yeah, she's like a huge fan of Saturday Night Live, and she's like, as long as she could come with us and see the show, because it was her dream to see it, not to actually be on it. We could fly for $60, so I'm like, hell yeah. And then I found this hotel that was only $28 a night, and I was like, that is amazing, right? And it turned out to be a hostel in Harlem. And the $28 was for a bed in a room full of bunk beds. So we took up 2 bunk beds in the corner with 1 empty bed on top. And the first night we were there, I was like kind of jet lagged. It was freezing cold because it was December. And Fred invited us to the Upper West Side to go to a dive bar. And we did, and afterwards we went to Gray's Papaya, where he did not treat us to $2 hot dogs. And then he took us up to his apartment, and he kept talking about how he had an elevator, and I was like, why does that matter? And then once we were in his apartment, he did not give us a tour because that's lame, and then my friends left, and I was there alone with him, wink, and within like 2 minutes, I kid you not, he was already in bed with his penis out, and it was really big. And I had only seen a couple before. I was shy. I had one boyfriend who turned out to be gay, but I knew a big one. And like, right away, I was just like, I guess let's get to this. And I started touching it, sort of, not with any goal in mind. And my stomach just dropped, like this horrible pain in my stomach. And I was like, oh my God, my period, it's hitting me right now. And I was like, hey, do you have any painkillers? And he was like, no, why would I have painkiller? And I'm like, okay. I'm like ibuprofen? He's like, no. And I'm like, do you have any like pads or tampons? And he's like, why would I have that? So I'm like, okay. And then I just like run to the bathroom because I suddenly have to really go to the bathroom, and I sit down, and immediately it's just like everything you can think of comes out of my body. It's like poop, pee, blood, tons of blood. It's like diarrhea. It's like Hershey's Kisses. It's like Hershey's Words. It's like chocolate syrup. And I'm just like there, just like shitting my brains out. And he's like, are you okay? From the bed. And I'm like, yeah, just a minute. And but I ended up being in there for like an hour. 90 minutes. I keep like coming to, I'm like sleeping on the toilet, I come to, I shit my brains out, I go back to sleep. In between one of the intervals, I check the medicine cabinet, and guess what? He doesn't have ibuprofen, but he does have a lot of over-the-counter pills. But I'm not really into drugs, so I don't take them. Finally, I go back out and I go back to work on his giant schlong. And then 30 seconds later, I have to go back in the bathroom and shit my brains out. And I'm in there and I'm like, I'm like pep talking myself. I'm like, I know he wants to sleep with me, but I can't, obviously. But I also don't want to be kicked out in the cold because I'm by myself. It's the middle of the night. I'm in New York City. I'm from Ohio. That's not going to happen. So I'm just like camped out in his bathroom. And finally, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, I think enough time has passed. I can go back out. He's really pissed at me. He's like, I just need my beauty sleep. I have to get up early in the morning. And I was like, what time do you have to get up? And he's like, 10:30. And I was like, what? He's like, I have to get to work. Work starts at noon. I'm like, okay. So he goes to sleep. I'm just staring at the ceiling because I'm in so much pain. My underwear is just full to the max with toilet paper, just in case. You ladies know. And the next morning, which is only an hour later, I wake up and he's like, hey, you want to go to breakfast? And I say yes, even though I'm not a breakfast person. And we go, and I forgot everything that I ordered, but I did order sausage, and it does look like a penis. And I do really cut it a lot. I'm like, but I don't eat it because it's gross. And then I order a small orange juice because a large orange juice seems like a lot to me, and it's $8, and I'm like, why would anybody spend $8 on an orange juice, right? But it turns out the large is just a regular size, and the small is just a shot glass. So I just do a shot of orange juice, and he kisses me on the mouth like I'm his grandma, and I get on the subway, and I go get on the wrong subway. I end up in the middle of Harlem, wandering around, hallucinating, because I'm in so much pain from my period, and also I'm bleeding through my homemade diaper. And I go into a pharmacy because I'm just like, I just need a Walgreens or like a CVS or like a Rite Aid. And instead, I find this pharmacy that has no name on the front, and it's in the middle of the projects. And I just go in, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and there's just two guys in the back arguing, and I just yell from the front because it feels unsafe. I'm like, do you guys have any painkiller? And they're like, get out of here! And I like realize later, like they think I'm like a drug addict or something. I don't know. And so I'm walking. It feels like forever. And finally, I see this giant H&M on the corner, and I'm like, I'm gonna go there later. That looks awesome. And then there's Walgreens next to it. There's a Walgreens next to it with like this golden light from like Jesus or whatever shining on it. And next to that is my hostel, and I'm like, yes, finally. And so, I go in the bathroom. I end up buying pads and tampons because who knows. And I go back. I finally feel good. I go back to my hostel, not hotel, and I slide into my bunk bed, even though there's no blanket. I'm like, whatever, I just want to get a little bit of sleep. So I'm sleeping, I'm laying down with my coat over me like a blanket. I look up, and on that bunk bed that was empty before, there are these two big blue eyes staring at me, and it's this super hot guy. And he's smiling, and he's like, hey, someone stole your blanket in the night. You can have mine. It was him, I think. And he's like, I'm getting up, so it's fine. So he goes, gets ready, comes back, and I'm like staring at him from under the blanket, like, he's cute. And he's like, hey, do you want to go to breakfast? Me and some other people at the hostel are going for breakfast. I'm like, hell yeah. And even though I technically already have breakfast, and I also don't like breakfast, I say yes. And we go with this group, and it's just me and him talking, like all I see is him. I'm just like, it's like tunnel vision. I'm like, wow, he's really cute. And we go to the little like walk-up place, and I just order a carton of orange juice. and it's only $2.50. I'm like, yes, that's the right price. And we're just sitting there on this like picnic table inside, and he's like touching my knee with his knee, and he like makes fun of my orange juice, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a great trip. So you guys, that's the end of the story, but I just want to tell you, we did get to see Saturday Night Live, and it was live, and we did not get invited back to the after party, and I'm pretty sure it's because I didn't put out. So that's the end of my story. Thank you.